Hello again, Steve here with a few comments. I thought I'd weigh into some of the current affairs once in a while. Why not, eh? It's interesting, it's something to talk about, and even though I don't have a great degree of interest in it, a lot of other people seem to. So I just try to apply principles and sort of a distant observation of what I see going on, because I don't actually watch these things. I don't watch the Golden Globes. But I hear about it. I hear about Oprah coming out in the Golden Globes and ostensibly doing a speech, a pre-campaign speech or something like that, that she might run for president. I think this is very interesting, as many people think it's probably very interesting. But I think it smacks as desperation from the left at this point, because the first thing that came to mind to me is that Oprah, I've often thought, is a bit of a female Donald Trump. I mean, it's really what she is. I mean, they're both wildly successful. They're both incredibly rich. They both could probably fund their own campaign. I mean, Oprah's not tainted by any real scandal, like Trump is not. At least, what's this guy, this FBI guy has been trying to search for something that Trump has done bad for over a year, and he hasn't found anything yet. And that's the power of the so-called surveillance state and everything. So, I mean, he's, been a bit of a libertine and so on, but that's not an illegality, right? But Oprah, yeah, she's pretty clean, and she's so much like a Trump in a way. But of course, she has to be a Democrat. Like, she's a black woman, and I think she may have been paid a huge sum of money, I guess, who knows, or I don't know what really, to go up and do something like that, because it's hard to imagine that she'd want to put herself in that kind of turmoil, because though she's like Donald Trump, a female version of Donald Trump, I can't see really lusting after that much power. She seems to have about as much power as she probably could use, although I could be wrong. But it's funny. What I see happening here is, the reason I say it looks like a bit of desperation on the side of the left to somehow get Oprah to come in on this thing, to weigh in on this thing, is because sometimes when people are losing, they realize all of a sudden, okay, we're not quite as good as those other guys, so let's do what they're doing, and maybe we'll at least, catch the tailwind of what they're doing. Like, the relationship between Burger King and McDonald's was always wherever McDonald's built a restaurant, Burger King would set up somewhere close by. That was their whole marketing strategy. Let's not do the research of demographics and so on. Let's just watch what McDonald's does and do what they do. But the problem is, they're always second fiddle to McDonald's, right? Because they're not quite as good as McDonald's. And if you think about it, how similar this Oprah is to Trump, right? She's self-made, she's a media mogul, she doesn't have a lot of scandal, she's kind of lovable by her group, so many people like her and all this sort of thing, except she's got a little bit of a Trump card, if you will. She's a black woman. So that also fits the Democrats really well, right? But the thing is, I think what they're missing is that even more so, unlike the McDonald's Burger King relationship, the left, I don't think, really realizes why it is that Trump won. See, why it is that Trump won is there's this movement, primarily by the strength of society, which is white males, always has been in the West, to want more of their freedom back. And there's this upswell. And Trump sensed that, and he jumped on board. Trump being the great opportunist, he's not a Republican. I've said it over and over again. In his philosophy, he's more of a liberal Democrat. But he is a businessman who will take advantage of an opportunity. And he jumped on board, and he's very, very skilled. The most skilled probably the world has ever known, at least in modern times, for such an activity, right? To get on board and make deals with people and so on. And to be able to just troll people like on another whole level. He's just masterful at it. But he was able to do this, and he was able to jump onto this groundswell. Whereas the Democrats don't have that. What they have is a bunch of whining Marxists who aren't really that intelligent, who are willing to use violence, and who are eventually going to piss off even the Democrats and their own support. I mean, people like Antifa and Black Lives Matter and so on, they're not equivalent to the new media. They're not at all. I mean, what do you got? The Young Turks? I mean, here's a guy who's basically, this organization is basically, it seems like he's supported by YouTube and Twitter and all these places. And, meanwhile, his competition is just harassed and hammered down and hammered down. And even still, they're growing, and I'm not sure if he is. Maybe he still is. But it just goes to show the difference. There's not that groundswell of real support by really intelligent people. And that's who's behind the new right. Behind the left, it's actually kind of fractured, and it certainly was in the last go-round. There was the Bernie camp, which is the hardcore Che Guevara socialist types. And then there's the Wall Street neocons dressed up as Democrats, who are just power at all cost. And I'm not sure which one that Oprah would try to line up with. I think the Bernie Sanders crowd is going to see through. Honestly, that was the more intelligent side, I think, of the Democrat. They're not going to like to have a big, in spite of her being a black woman, they're not going to like her Donald Trump sort of ally effect. I mean, they're basically partners in a lot of ways in the same industry and whatnot. I don't think they're going to like that. She's no socialist. She's no Bernie Sanders socialist for sure. I mean, to run a media mogul like that, an entertainment mogul like that, is no Bernie Sanders for sure. And it's just hard. I don't know. I see it as them playing second fiddle. That's what I see this whole Oprah thing is they put this Oprah up there. They've encouraged her somehow to come out to the Golden Globes, because a lot of liberals are going to watch that and say, oh yeah, maybe I'll be president. But there's just too many parallels. She's incredibly successful in doing online shows, and so is Donald Trump. Everything she does is very, very successful. She has a lot of respect from a lot of people, as Donald Trump has throughout the years, don't forget. And it has this wonderful, like, worldwide sort of a brand. Like, Trump is a brand, Oprah is a brand. You see the similarities there? And they both ran in the same circles, and they both know all the big wigs and all the big cities on the coasts and whatever. And it's just so similar. It's almost like they said, hey, the reason why Trump won is because he's so successful, and the people who voted for him love him so much. So how about we find the person who our people love the most, who happens to be somebody like Donald Trump, but is kind of a black woman, and we'll run her and we'll be successful. No, I don't think so. Because what Trump had was this swell of energy by disenfranchised white men primarily, and the women they love, the women who love them too. And not only that, but also the people of rational mind in the black community and the Hispanic community and so on, who actually can see, truths from falsehood and choose the greater truths than the greater falsehoods. All of those people are on a quest to take back some of their freedoms, because freedom always goes in a pendulum, and it had gone over so far, and it's on its way back now towards greater freedom. And that's what Trump was on, whereas the left is on a push towards greater tyranny, and that is clear to the people who support Trump, and they're more energetic than those who support greater tyranny, as far as I see it. One man's opinion. Hope this is helpful. Oh, because this is Coffee Chat, what can we learn from this? What we learn from this is just observe what's going on. Observe what's going on and realize that we probably don't want any of these people running our lives, but just have a look and make a choice for ourselves. Who's better? Who would we rather be there? Sure, maybe we'd rather none of them, but given the choice, who would we rather? It's a good thought exercise anyways, which is also important for our mental health. Steve here again, great chatting. Talk again soon. Bye for now.